Hi, welcome to the SIM project orientation video. This is a first in a series of videos that I'm going to have available to you to help you through the SIM project learning curve, if you will. We'll be using this along with the practice simulation to get you started so you fully understand some of the nuances and other things associated with the SIM project, so that when you're on the full version or our team version of the SIM project, you're really applying your project management principles more than just trying to understand how the simulation works. So that's the purpose of these videos and the purpose of the pedagogy method that I wind up using. So hopefully these videos are a little lengthy, but they're worth watching, and they do a good job of filling in the gaps where the player's guide misses out on. So here's the first of that series.
Welcome to the Sim Professionals LLC orientation presentation for our project management simulation, Sim for Projects. There are many ways to teach project management. We are going to discuss different methodologies, some of the strengths and weaknesses of each, and why we use a simulation. More specifically, we will provide an overview of the simulation chosen for your class, Sim for Projects. There are a number of methodologies for teaching project management. One approach is to discuss only theory and ignore any hands-on work. This is often used by instructors with large classes. However, research shows us that lectures have a low retention rate for content. Another alternative is to have students do project plans for some special project, often called a toy project. In that case, the instructor critiques the work and there is some discussion of the plan. Estimates are prepared on budgets and timetables, but it is often unclear how these truly relate to personnel allocation and task assignments. Another approach is to use a class project as the core of the class. In that case, each student or team would likely define their vision of the project. While each student would gain from defining the project, the work breakdown, structure, and the task dependencies would all be different, and there would be no consistency between projects. As such, class participation would be extremely difficult. Another alternative is to place the student in the workplace. They would often become an intern to a person deemed to be a good project manager. In that case, the student shadows the project manager and learns from them. Industry often takes this approach. It does have the advantage of introducing students to the corporate culture. However, instructors often cannot be guaranteed that the concepts they want to be taught are being covered by the person supervising the intern. Additionally, there are often out-of-pocket costs for the student, including transportation. The student may also have scheduling conflicts between time demands for other classes and the requirement to be at the business site. So why use a simulation? Use of a simulation is another pedagogy for teaching project management. With a simulation, the university is able to know the content and to better control what is taught. Some simulations, such as Sim for Projects that you will use, have been created as experiential exercises. Research shows that experiential learning provides a higher level long-term degree of retention than other methodologies. Simulations score higher on Bloom's taxonomy and allow the students hands-on experience in managing a project. Now we will take a look at a brief overview of Sim for Projects. Sim for Projects is a project management simulation that brings together the elements of project management into a detailed web-based environment. Working in teams, or alone, players make decisions that bring their virtual project from startup to completion. As each decision-making round is completed, the consequences of the players' decisions are shown in the progress of their virtual teams. Moving forward, we will take a look at the authors of Sim for Projects. The simulation was designed by Penn State University professors Dr. Jeffrey Pinto and Dr. Diane Parente. Dr. Pinto is the former editor of the Project Management Journal and most recently was awarded the Project Management Institute Research Achievement Award. Dr. Parente has many years' experience as a project manager for a Fortune 100 company prior to becoming an academic. She is currently chair for the Interdisciplinary Business with Engineering program and lead faculty in the IMBA program at Penn State University. The authors have over 200 research publications and conference presentations, and 40 years of project experience between them. The authors designed the simulation as a project organized as a class experiential exercise. It is intended to be used in either a large or small classroom with either individuals or teams. Now we will take a look at how the simulation works. The simulation is a team exercise. Your instructor will create a virtual project that is unique to your class. Your instructor will establish parameters that impact scoring and other issues such as the difficulty level of the simulation. At your instructor's discretion, you may be the only person on your team. Conversely, there may be several students on your team. If you have teammates, you will work together to agree on one set of decisions for your project. During the simulation, you will make decisions concerning resource hiring and firing, resource allocation to tasks, assigning resources to training, employing a wide range of managerial actions which may affect individual or team factors. These decisions will impact scoring for time, cost, functionality, and stakeholder satisfaction for your project. At the conclusion of each decision-making period, the consequences of your decisions will be shown in the progress of your virtual team. Teams will compete with each other to complete the same project. Your score will be calculated not as a raw score, but as a percentile compared to the other teams. Alright, so where do you start? If you have not already registered, your access card booklet has instructions for registering for the simulation. Once you register, your instructor will assign you to a team. You cannot participate in the simulation play until you are assigned to a team. Your first task after registering is to read the Player Quick Start Manual that is posted at www.sim4projects.com. The Quick Start is complete with screenshots and will provide you with excellent direction for playing the sim. Please note, there is no substitute for reading the manual. The simulation is a flexible, parameter-driven exercise, and every virtual project created is unique. Your instructor will create a project exclusively for your class. Certain decisions and directions chosen by your instructor may be a reflection of your class makeup and/or your university syllabus. For example, if your class is a graduate-level class, your instructor has the option of making the simulation difficulty level more challenging. Another example of options available is called auto-assignment of virtual resources. If chosen, the simulation will auto-populate your virtual project with a startup number of resources. This option reflects the real world where you, as a project manager, may or may not have the option of hiring your own team. If your instructor does not choose this option, you will start the simulation by bidding for the initial resources to staff your virtual team. Either way, you are able to hire and fire resources as your project progresses. Now that you have an understanding of how the simulation is set up, let's take a look at where the simulation starts. If your instructor selected Auto Assign, your project will start as soon as your instructor initiates play. If your instructor elected not to have auto assignment, you will start the simulation in something called pre-play. In pre-play, the only decision you can make is to hire resources. There are a maximum of 12 decision-making periods, exclusive of pre-play, which allows you sufficient time to implement a strategy and then modify your strategy if you choose. If your class runs over a short period, say 7 to 8 weeks, you may play fewer periods. Your instructor will provide your schedule. Next, we will take a brief look at the goals of the simulation. The simulation is meant to reinforce the concepts taught in your class. Specifically, our hope is to provide a slice of real life in a simulated project environment, to present situations where players are required to apply and integrate, to develop critical team participation and management skills. In closing, we have some comments from the authors of Sim4Projects. There are no canned answers to the simulation. Your team's score will be based not only on your decisions, but the decisions of other teams playing the sim. As such, you may make very good decisions only to be outscored by a team that simply made better decisions. No simulation can truly reflect the real world. However, we think you will find the simulation to be very realistic. As such, we suggest you make your decisions as if you were running a real project. You will form into teams, make resource decisions, make training decisions, and implement managerial actions. You must also prepare for unseen events that may occur. You will receive the results of your decisions, be able to analyze the results, and make appropriate adjustments for the next processing period. The simulation is challenging. However, our true hope is to continue to receive emails like the following, from instructors telling us about the simulation helping students meet the challenges they will face outside the classroom. We have just had a student obtain a project management position in competition with 40 other applicants. He told us that the job interview was just like playing the simulation. Thank you for watching our orientation video, and we hope you enjoy the simulation.